Welcome back to another video, guys. Thanks for joining me. Sit down and let's have some fun. 2024 is here. Happy New Year, everybody. I figured today would be fun to do a story time, tell you about the absolute worst New Year's that I've ever had. Now, during the story, I'm going to be interlacing some gameplay, so that way you know that you have something to kind of break up just looking at my face so you can listen to it, because we're all visual creatures and we really enjoy watching stuff. The story kind of goes as such. Enjoy. I think the year was 2009 or going into 2009 or going into 2010. And this was, I think I was a senior in high school. And going into this year, we had done it pretty much every year. We went to one of my friend's house, and we'll name him Tom for now. And Tom had a really cool house. It was almost like a castle house on top of this like big rotating, like driveway you had to drive up in circles on this giant hill, and you had to kind of ascend this mountain, so to speak. He also had on pieces of his property, he had this kind of like ravine that went off of the driveway into this little gully-like flat piece, kind of a ravine almost, if you will. That was really cool because we used to go down there and, you know, shoot guns and, you know, do things that were probably illegal, and just like good Christian boys do, you know. That's where we had gone for the last few years for New Year's parties. And there was this particular year, and I think this was going into our senior year, or this was our senior year in high school, going into it. So, you know, we had to put a good hurrah. So, what did we call him? Tony? I can't forgot what given name we gave him. But anyway, Tony called all of us and said, "Hey, party at my place, New Year's Eve. You down? What do you think?" And again, because we were all into debauchery and we're all terrible kids, we said, yeah, sure, let's do it. Absolutely. So we started preparing and getting everything ready to go, right? And the plan is that we were going to take in all of our stuff, all of our cars, we're going to basically turn them into a giant circle in this ravine, make a giant bonfire that we were going to light, and, you know, ring in the new year that way. Which, what can go wrong, right? So I call my extraordinarily redneck friend, Jeff, we'll call him. Jeff. I say, hey, Jeff, we're throwing a New Year's party. Like, is there anything that, you know, you have anything going on, whatever the case. And he didn't go to school with us. You know, he was at a completely different school. And so I called him up and asked him, and he said, well, you know, I do. I got some stuff. I got some going on, but I've got some things I can give you. And of course, I'm not going to go into detail because you don't need to know those details, right? So needless to say, Jeff hooked us up. We showed up to hang out. I was decked out in the 2008-2009 alternative kid style, right? I had the skinny jeans and, you know, the zip up hoodie and, you know, the high tops, the whole nine, right? The whole nine, like pretty much just ripping off All Time Low. Okay, like that's pretty much, that was my aesthetic in 2008, 2009, whatever. The skinny jeans will come into play in this story soon enough. It had been raining. It was a very rainy, disgusting, terrible, horrible day. We got to Tony's house, and so we started to park all of our cars in the ravines and doing whatever else. The rain had slacked off and everything then, so we had gone, for the first half of the evening, we had gone into Tony's house and ordered pizza and did the whole nine and, you know, hung out, played video games, the usual affair, kind of what you do. And then it got dark, and then we said, okay, now is the time. Let's head on down. Head on down. Well, the rain had picked back up, and it was raining pretty profusely while we were eating pizza and doing whatever and hanging out in Tony's house. The rain stopped by the time the dark came out. So to get into Tony's ravine, mind you, there was this incredibly steep hill, and I mean very, very steep, extraordinarily steep. We had, let's say, participated in some things already in type of a pre-game type style of affair. My brain was not 100%. And all of the subsequent issues with your brain not being 100%, all of the imbalance issues and depth perception problems came into play. Now, the skinny jeans I was donned were white, very white, extraordinarily white. We started to head down the hill, and my feet decide to leave out from under me. And it was the kind of fall that's the you know, kind of fall. It's not the whoa, whoa, you know, kind of thing, like when you fall in a chair type of thing where you have a moment to kind of assess what's going on type situation when you fall. No. This was the type of fall that it just instantly happens, and like your soul leaves your fleshy vessel all at once because you're falling. That's it. I'm done. I don't know what's going on, and all of a sudden your ass on the floor. Well, I hit my ass and my side leg, like my hip. It's like I'm sliding into third to try to beat the throw and slide a good maybe 5 feet in the mud. So I pop up, laughing hysterically because I thought it was unbelievably funny because I didn't really truly realize the horror of this entire situation. I look like I had gone the worst amount of number 2 on myself possible, all the way down the side of my leg. So all of my friends also too are giving me shit about it and making fun of me. Okay, yeah, well, whatever. All right, so there was the start of the bad night. I had what you would call an insane girlfriend at the time, and her and I were fighting. So now I'm mud pants. And as we were hanging out down there making the bonfire, whatever the case, I'm going back and forth with her. And so I walk back up to my car, and get on the phone with her. And we have this dropout fight. And we end up breaking up. And so, great. Now I'm mud pants. And I'm broken up with. I just said, you know what? Fuck it. Just absolutely fuck it to the moon. I will imbibe in whatever I choose to do for the evening, and I'm just going to throw caution to the wind. Fuck it all, right? Because, that's what teenagers do. And you think that your world sucks. In mud pants. As the night goes on, we kind of like circle off into our cars, and we had all kind of obtained different things and different amounts of what you would say positive, good things to ingest into our bodies. And the stuff that I got from Jeff too was pretty strong. And so we started mixing both of them on top of ingesting some questionable airy type things. And I'm going to be as blunt, just beat around the bush as much as I can, because, I don't know how much you can talk about stuff on YouTube. So we started mixing all those things, and the fading starts to get a little bit crossed. Lines start getting a little crossed, just so to speak. I remember very vividly one of my good friends that I've been friends with since kindergarten. We'll call him Carl. We were sitting next to each other, and I was sitting in the middle, and one of my other friends was on my left, and Carl, I think Carl was on my right. And I just remember kind of laughing and joking, and we were all, making silly jokes. And I just look over, and Carl kind of just looks at me in my eyes with like the look, that look where he's crying for help via the look. And he just opens the door and swiftly just sticks his entire half of his body out of the door. Stream. Not even a stream. That's not even good enough. That's not strong enough. And Niagara Falls comes from him. But what was so unbelievably hilarious to me at the time, and I don't know why it was, is that there was no noise to the first bit. But the second bit carried the noise. And the noise that was made. So, long story being short, we hang out in the cars and we do whatever we're doing. And then we start to get out because we're like, you know what, we're tired, and it's after New Year's, it's after midnight, Happy New Year's, whatever. As we're getting out, we start hearing sirens and fireworks. Still to this day, I'm assuming they were fireworks. That's what I'm assuming it was. Gunshots, fireworks, something was happening. And then we started hearing sirens. And because of the state of mind that we were all in, we started absolutely freaking out and losing our minds. And we said, oh shit, let's get back to the house. So we started running up the hill again. Guys, let me tell you something. Come here. Let me tell you something. If you are faded in a cross fashion, try to run up a hill and see how it works for you, because it doesn't. I slip again, and I hit my knees and my hands, and I come sliding back down before I pop back up again. So now I'm mud pants times 2, and on my arms and on my hands. And finally, not to even mention my shoes, right? My high tops were ruined. And finally ascended the hill, got it back up to, I forgot his name. What would name? Assume names? Tony, right? We got it back up to Tony's house. I proceed then to have the trifecta of shitty things happen. Muddy pants, girlfriend breaks up with you, and diarrhea. So all of the pizza and all of the stuff that was in my belly, from all of the stuff that was being consumed over the course of the evening, did not sit and agree well. They were not friends in my belly, so to speak. They were not friends in my GI tract. And all of that comes firing out at me at the force, the actual force of TNT. So after I recoup myself, I get the brilliant idea that, I gotta clean my pants, don't I, Mr. Mud Pants? So I take my mud pants and I throw them in his washer with nothing else, and I run his washing machine with nothing else in it, because, why not? That's what you do at a friend's house. And then in the morning, get my still wet pants, because I fell asleep before I dried them the night before, put them in there, dried them, and we all eventually became human and alive. And so we said, what are we going to do? What's the best remedy for a night after? Is it greasy food? Is it things like that? We were trying to figure out. What did we land on? Mexican food, which is perfect. We all go to the Mexican place, which is like a Mexican buffet, which is even better, right? Like a buffet. That's what you need after a night like that. None of us said a word to each other. We just sat and looked at one another as we ate the chips and salsa, just contemplated what the hell we all were doing and why we did what we did at our young age. I remember being in pain, absolute pain, after sitting in my still damp, now stained, muddy jeans in my ruined high tops. Just happy. Just so happy to be starting a new year. Moral of the story: don't wear white jeans when it rains. Happy 2024, guys. I thank you for listening. If you did listen to this all the way through to my story, you tell me in the comments what your worst New Year's experience was. What was the worst thing you had going on? And I will see you in the next one.